Well, it was the UKIP general election campaign that wasn't. A New Hope with Lois Perry being elected to the leadership role, and it's all turned badly wrong. After just 34 days, Lois Perry resigned. Lois, welcome to the show. This is your first interview since coming back. I have to say, you look great.
Thank you. Well, that's what 6 weeks of R&R and putting my phone in the sink does for one.
What went wrong?
I'd just been discharged from hospital, having nearly died from pneumonia. The priest had come in and my father, who I'm estranged from, was on his way to say goodbye to me. I'd been leader for a couple of days at that point, you know, so it was a very difficult time.
But was it the leadership itself that caused the problems?
The leadership itself, no. I believe that they had a vision. They wanted something different. That's why Ben Walker wanted me to run. That's why he asked me to run after Neil Hamilton had steadied the ship. But there were people in the party who would rather always be on the outside, you know, chipping in. They didn't want the right to unite. There was a pathological hatred from, not least, my opponent for the leadership, Bill Etheridge. You actually chaired one of the hustings against Nigel Farage. They didn't want to team up with people that shared similar values, whether it was Nigel or whether it was the Tories or whether it was anybody. And they absolutely loathed me for it. But there was something a little bit more sinister, something quite a lot more sinister. And that was, they felt, or there were certain elements within the party, once I took over as leader, that felt that they wanted to go after quite an extreme viewpoint. Now, people have got different views about Tommy Robinson. A lot of what he said has come true. But let's be honest, he has been convicted of immigration offences in the United States of America. They wanted to have a link up. There were strong elements, and that was at the very top of the party as well, wanted to have a link up with Tommy Robinson. There was a big march. I gave permission for my people to go, but I didn't attend. That says a lot. I was asked continuously. I felt railroaded to have allegiances with Tommy Robinson. I couldn't do that. That wasn't where I wanted to go. When Nigel Farage took over as the leader of Reform, that I felt, what am I doing? I'm being railroaded into following a path that I don't want to follow, even to the point that on a Zoom call, I felt that I had to say, oh, maybe we'll look at it in the future, having some sort of tie-up with him, even though I didn't feel it at all. When Richard Tice was leading Reform, I felt that there was a place for me to be, not blowing my own trumpet, you know, I have the female Farage, charismatic, whatever. I felt that there was a place for what I was doing in UKIP. As soon as Mr Farage took over Reform, I just wanted to support him. And obviously they picked up on it. I really, really, really felt that we could unite, that we could merge, right will unite and create a new opposition. And there was no way that that was ever going to be allowed to happen if we teamed up with Tommy Robinson. They were back-channeling, Andre. I told them, I said no official contact with Tommy or unofficial contact. And I heard rumours that they were doing it. There was also some other stuff, homophobia. There was some dodgy stuff. I'm not homophobic. I'm not anti-trans. In fact, as long as you're adults, I don't care what you get up to. I've got no problem with that. You know, I'm not anti-Muslim, but I am anti-radical Islamism.
But what does that mean? Because I've met people in UKIP, they all seem perfectly all right to me. I mean, the idea that they are what, racist, homophobic...
No, I'm not saying everybody is. I'm not even saying the majority are. The Tommy Robinson crew brings certain elements with them. Extreme anti-Semitism as well. You know, when I was doing the debate with Bill Etheridge, I'm not saying that he is in any way anti-Semitic, but he wouldn't support Israel in the hustings. He wouldn't even support us helping them with weapons, things like that, against radical Islamism, against people that behead babies and rape women. Where's that come from? But it wasn't something that I wanted to be the head of. And to be honest, I hadn't the energy to pull them into the centre because I'd been so ill. And as you know, there'd been personal situations that had been going on for over a quarter of a decade, which had really taken it out of me as well.
And what was that?
Our mutual friend, I'm not going to name any names, a long-term relationship that should never have happened. that really took it out of
So
me.
just let me understand this. So you're a divorced woman. You spend part of your time in Essex, at what was the family, I suppose it's still the family home, and also part of the time in London. And during
Not
that
anymore, because he's not paying for it, but yeah.
Sorry, somebody paid for your flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was cut off quite brutally. As I say, the personal situation was something that should never happened and that I regret, and I'm sure he regrets as well. So I couldn't do it anymore. I had a burnout. I couldn't do it anymore. But what I did do, was brought in a brilliant deputy for what they want. He's a very,
with respect,
and now he's leading UKIP.
With respect, you weren't complaining about UKIP being right-wing or going to the right. You were complaining about an element who loved Tommy Robinson, rightly or wrongly, were far more anti-Muslim than you, were homophobic, and all the rest of those things. So what you are talking about is a poison within the party, not A, the party itself, or B, to say that Nick represents that in any way.
No, that's absolutely right. I have no criticism of UKIP. I have no criticism of Nick or Ben Walker. Ben Walker in particular has been very, very good to me. And I do have an extraordinary amount of regret. And I am sorry that I let the party down by resigning when I did. But I had no choice. I think it's fair to say...
What was the straw that broke the camel's back then? Because you've talked about ill health, and we can talk... In fact, I'll mention now, you have a disability, very severe arthritis.
I don't want people to know that.
It's something you don't want people to know.
No.
But I spent some time in Israel with you, and it's fair to say that the physical capability that you would have, you don't have,
no.
and you do try and disguise it. And obviously, you have to have medical treatment for that, which includes incredibly strong painkillers, which tire you out in of themselves. But you've got that disability. You had the pneumonia. You had the problems at UKIP. You had the personal life falling to pieces. Which of those was it that really caused the end?
As I said, it was a cacophony of all of those elements together. I mean, 2 days, it's been very widely reported that, that I was dining. I had a lunch with Nigel Farage a couple of days before I made the decision. People have said, it's because of him or there was some deal or whatever. Actually, 2 days before that, I can exclusively reveal I've never told anyone this. I was so unwell in so many different ways.
Because of your disability, which I know you're embarrassed to talk about, you've had to take strong painkillers.
Yeah, I've been on morphine.
And you also drink as well. I'm not saying that.
No,
you're
and I was drinking too much at the time. Not when I was on the road.
But in this very studio, there've been occasions when you've really struggled to focus because of the amount of painkillers you were taking. My view has always been that you were taking far too many, all on prescription, I should say. We're not talking about illegality.
No.
But the fact that you were putting yourself in far too much physical exertion was leading to you over-medicating. Is that a fair criticism?
I think there was definitely occasions where I wanted to hide my disability and I probably took too many painkillers.
Have you spoken to UKIP?
No.
Have you spoken to any of the officials, the party chairman or the new leader?
Not yet, but I will do.
How are you expecting that to go?
I'm just going to be as honest with them as I've been with you. I am sorry, but the decision that I made was actually to... it sounds over the top. I wouldn't be sitting here now if I hadn't made the decision that I've made. It's fair to say that the UKIP leadership, on top of everything else, that I hadn't had a break for 3 years. I've been running this political organisation, Car 26.
Was the UKIP leadership killing you?
It could have done. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that if I hadn't have made the decision that I'd made, that the UKIP leadership could have killed me. It could have been the final straw.
You destroyed the UKIP general election campaign.
Did I?
Did you?
I don't know. I don't know if I did, actually, because it got UKIP. It's regrettable what happened, but it was out of my hands. It really was.
Do you feel that you lied to the UKIP members? Because had they known about your physical frailties...
No, they all knew. They all knew because it was all over Twitter. Even when I was, apparently hours from death, I was managing to tweet. There
was a point in the leadership election when I said to you that you ought to pull out on the grounds that you're physically not capable of doing it. But a lot of people got hurt by you not doing that. And that is something that you do have to accept.
I do accept it, and I am sorry. I became... plaything is a strong word, but maybe a little bit of a political or media plaything for a group of very wealthy Brexit millionaires who wanted to get a message across.
What does that mean?
I knew what I was taking on when I took it on, and I was determined, and I had a ball. I really did, and I'm really proud of everything that I've achieved with Card 26. And although, as I say, I do have regrets with UKIP.
But you're alluding to having been exploited. I mean, you can't describe yourself as having been a plaything for millionaires and not accuse them of exploitation.
But I'm done. It's done. Next time, the next bit of my life is going to be on my terms, and working alongside and with people that love and respect me and don't see me as a caricature. I've
got to say one thing before we go, Lois. We've had a discussion in advance of this. Nobody who you have named personally was involved in any form of exploitation or indeed the plaything element, or indeed did have...
No, nobody that I've named personally, and I would argue quite strongly against that. I haven't been exploited. Okay.
Well, that is the former UKIP leader, Lois Perry. Questions to be answered, but I do think that an apology goes a long way. Until next time, goodbye.